heated after Monique lit him up during her comedy set, clowning his legal mess with that OnlyFans model who's hitting him with a $50 million lawsuit. The clip of Monique roasting him, yeah, it blew all the way up online. Now, insiders close to Shannon are saying he's feeling betrayed and straight up embarrassed. He thought his celeb crew would ride for him, but instead he's getting dragged in the dirt. And guess what? Fans are bringing receipts, reminding everyone that Monique already told Shannon on Club She to stop chasing young women who just see dollar signs when they look at him. But instead of listening, Shannon shrugged her off like it was nothing. Now the storm's here and his image is taking serious hits. Even if he beats the case, the damage might already be done. His massive $100 million podcast deal hanging by a thread. Big brands, they're backing away quick. And his inner circle, folks are going ghost. So now everyone's asking, what exactly did Monique say on stage that got Shannon so mad? Especially when she was the one trying to keep him out of trouble in the first place.
What the two teams that call me Ocho say, what's your phone number, where you gonna be?
Who that?
Shut the up.
And just one more thing about Mr. Sharpe. Not so sharp, clearly. It is my theory, just my opinion, my theory, not fact, my opinion. I think all of this RACE rhetoric that was in those text messages started with him. It started with him. It's becoming more and more clear to me, in my opinion, that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby and baby gravy. Shannon was a 54-year-old big black grown man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sound like some he's familiar with. Big black babies, he probably seen a few in his day. Born in the backwoods of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all the other folks. But I just don't think that came from her. Now, is she repeating it back in those text messages? Yes, that's why he released her messages, not his. Peep that, okay? We haven't seen what his responses was. And I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race started with him. It's a fetish. And he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. He couldn't, like Monique was trying to tell him, get an older gal. Older gal ain't going for that. They was going to immediately know he was a freak and a weirdo. A 19-year-old don't know no better. That's why she repeated it back to him, because he said it to her first. Older men, that's why they tend to want to be with younger women. They're more impressionable. They can mold them. They can shape them to be what they want them to be. Do what they want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We gonna be looking like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words, it's gonna come out. But that race stuff started with.
During her set on Cat Williams' Heaven on Earth comedy tour, Monique didn't hold back. She threw it back to when she gave Shannon some real talk, but he didn't take it seriously. She joked, 26-year-old girl? You don't need no 36-year-old girl. No! The crowd lost it. But behind the jokes, she was making a point. She saw this mess coming from a mile away. While folks were still stunned over the news that Shannon's facing those serious accusations, Monique was out here like, told y'all! She wasn't shocked, she warned him. And now, fans are wondering if this whole scandal could have been avoided if Shannon had just listened when Monique dropped that truth bomb. Looks like Monique just said what everybody else has been thinking. Shannon did this to himself. Right after news dropped about the lawsuit against Shannon, fans dug up that old clip from her February 2024 appearance on Club She, and it's making waves all over again. In it, Monique didn't sugarcoat a thing. She told Shannon straight up, stop messing with women half your age and go find someone grown who's not just after your wallet. She wasn't throwing shade, she was dropping wisdom. Monique made it crystal clear. Date someone on your level, someone who actually respects you, not someone chasing clout and cash. Now, Monique's always been a bold voice. Some folks love her no-filter attitude, while others call her too much. But when it comes to this Shannon mess, even her usual critics are admitting she was spot on. She wasn't talking in circles either. She was looking dead at Shannon, telling him his choices could backfire hard. And what did Shannon do? He giggled through it like it was just another segment, didn't take it serious, kept entertaining OnlyFans models like nothing could touch him. Now, fast forward to today, he's out at ESPN, caught up in a massive legal battle and watching his brand crumble in real time. That old interview's become a prophecy. Fans are re-watching it and saying Monique had the vision before anybody else. One fan commented, "One thing about Monique, she can crack jokes, but she don't lie. Shannon Baldhead should have listened instead of laughing. Now look at him." Another said, "Shannon Sharpe got what was coming." I don't know who was advising him in private, but even on the show, he had 3 different guests warning him: Cat Williams, Monique, and even Lil Yachty.
My daughter's a budget. You got a budget. I don't get whatever you do after that.
What number, I mean, I don't want to be in your business, but what number you said?
30,000.
Okay. So you can have a wedding with 30,000?
I don't know what you can have. I ain't the one getting married. I don't give a damn. Hey, they better go get one of them on Hey, y'all from the South, y'all know about that fried catfish and spaghetti plate? Hey, I know somebody hooked that thing right on up. What they charge by the plate? $10.50 a head. Spaghetti, fried catfish, a piece of cornbread, and a styrofoam cup of sweet tea. That's all you get. Man, I'm not finna go. Hey, just because they somebody. Oh hell, no, man, I wish I might.
I was once dating this chick, right, Skip, and she was married, but she was getting a divorce. I knew I wanted her. I said, you know what? I'll pay for the divorce because I believe she was the one. That's what I did. I said, why you arguing about this? He wouldn't sign the papers. I said, why you arguing about this little bit of money? I gave her the money, filed the divorce because I believe. I keep it 100 with y'all here, Skip, but I did that.
But here's the wild part. Despite everything falling apart, Shannon's still not seeing the big picture. Word is he's furious about Monique roasting him in her comedy set. Instead of reflecting, he's mad she used his drama for laughs. But let's be real, she tried to help him. He just didn't want to hear it. So now Shannon's got smoke for Monique. He's salty, she's cracking jokes while he's drowning in legal drama. Word is he really thought his famous friends would have his back, but crickets. Barely anyone showed up to defend his name, and that silence? It says everything. But let's be real, folks aren't exactly lining up with sympathy. This lawsuit looks more like the final blow after years of reckless behavior that's finally catching up to him. Shannon's been in messy headlines way before this case. And now, even more dirt is bubbling up that's making people question his whole image. One clip that's going viral right now shows Shannon completely losing it during a recent episode of his podcast, Nightcap. On the April 30th show, while talking about the 2025 NFL Draft, he suddenly turned off camera and shouted, "Shut the F up!" out of nowhere. Fans were shook by the outburst, calling it unhinged. But wait, there's more. Shannon's also getting roasted for saying he wouldn't spend more than $30,000 on his daughter's weddings. Yes, this is the same man who allegedly offered that OnlyFans model $10 million to keep quiet and not take him to court. He made the wedding comments on another Nightcap episode while chatting with Ocho Cinco about wedding budgets. Shannon flat out said he'd cap each of his daughter's weddings at $30,000 and even joked they could just serve spaghetti and fried fish to save money. That joke didn't land. People went in hard. It wasn't long before the internet started dragging him again, especially after those leaked texts showed him offering the model $25,000 per cheek. Yeah, that kind of cheek, but he really is. He lost what little respect people had left. The comment read, "Out here offering an ex-OnlyFans worker millions but capping his daughter's wedding at $30,000? The math ain't mathin' and people are fired up. But trust, it gets messier. Fans are now calling Shannon out for being involved in what they believe was some twisted race play fantasy with the OnlyFans model, Gabriella. And the receipts? They're coming from his own leaked texts. In one of the messages, Gabriella allegedly told him, "I want you to put a big black baby in me." The internet was stunned. What's more suspicious is that Shannon didn't post his side of the convo. Now fans are convinced this racially charged roleplay wasn't just coming from her. It may have been Shannon's idea all along. After all, Gabriella's a paid worker and folks think she was probably just saying what he asked for. One fan said, "Let's be real, that weird race stuff? That came from Shannon, not her." And now, more disturbing clips are resurfacing, highlighting Shannon's wild history with women. In one viral video, he straight up admitted he paid for a woman's divorce because he was so obsessed with her. Meanwhile, his own daughter is expected to pinch pennies for her wedding. The double standard is crazy. Another clip shows Shannon telling an over-the-top bedroom story that left even Deion Sanders speechless. And that's saying something. People in the comments weren't amused. In fact, a bunch of them said this was the reason they stopped watching the Nightcap show with Ocho in the first place. "Nobody wants to hear that freaky talk from a dude pushing 60, one fan said. "It's giving midlife crisis, not grown man wisdom." Shannon's personal life is spilling all over the internet, and every new clip is just adding more heat to the fire. More voices from the industry are coming forward, and they're not holding back. Now even Dr. Umar is chiming in, saying that lawsuit or not, Shannon should have known better than to be messing with a 19-year-old girl. He didn't sugarcoat it either. Dr. Umar said straight up, even if this whole thing turns out to be a shakedown, Shannon had no business getting involved with someone that young. And let's not forget, Gabriella allegedly refused to sign an NDA. That should have been a red flag waving right in his face. So with all this chaos unfolding, fans are done feeling sorry for Shannon, and they're definitely not siding with him in his beef with Monique. She didn't just throw shade, she gave him solid advice on Club Shishi. She told him the truth, tried to steer him right, and he laughed it off like it was a joke. Now that the jokes are on him, people are saying he's just facing the consequences of his own actions. And trust, those consequences are no small thing. Gabriella is demanding a jaw-dropping $50 million in damages. And based on recent reports, Shannon might not even have that kind of cash to make it go away.
ESPN contract
Yes, sir.
is up next year. And the word on the street is that you want something in the range of $100 million for 5 years.
Right.
True?
It ain't false. I always want as much money as I can get. I'm not going to apologize to that. I'm a capitalist. What I would say to you is I would ask respectfully, pay attention to the industry. See what people are getting paid. See how much money they're making and what they're bringing to the table. Look at their ratings. Look at their revenue that they're generating. And look at
anything I say, you're just going to like get mad at and you're just going to hang up on me. So I feel like...
I'm not going to hang up on you. It is what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
I don't know that much. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you. Thank you.
No, I don't want to be true.
Yes, you do. I don't think you are.
Right now, Celebrity Net Worth estimates his worth at around $30 million. He pulled in about $22.5 million during his NFL days, with his biggest payday being $5 million from the Ravens in a deal worth $13.8 million over 4 years. These days, he's reportedly making close to $10 million a year, thanks to his podcast game, brand sponsorships, media work, and his high-end cognac line, Le Portier. But even with all that hustle, Shannon's still trailing his First Take co-host, Stephen A. Smith, who's sitting pretty with a net worth of about $45 million. Stephen A. recently locked in a monster 5-year, $100 million deal, cementing his spot as one of the top-paid sports analysts in the game. Meanwhile, Shannon, he's fighting lawsuits, losing endorsements, and watching his empire shake at the foundation. Just behind Tom Brady and media power moves, Shannon was this close to bagging his own $100 million deal, until it all started falling apart. Here's the wild part. Right before Gabriella hit him with that lawsuit, Shannon was in final talks to lock down a massive podcast package. This wasn't just any deal, it would have covered his whole Shishi media empire. Club Shishi, Nightcap with Chad Johnson, Club 520, The Bubba Dub Show, and Humble Baddies. He was stacking up shows and building a podcast empire like a boss. According to Front Office Sports, as of April 18th, just 3 days before the lawsuit dropped, Shannon was on track to ink a deal worth over $100 million. But once Gabriella's complaint went public, everything hit pause. Now the whole thing's on shaky ground. If that deal falls through, it'll be a huge blow to Shannon. Not just financially, but legacy-wise. And don't forget, that lawsuit's still looming large. If he loses in court, people are asking if he's even got enough money to cover a $50 million payout. His net worth's sitting around $30 million, and while he's pulling in big bucks yearly, it might not be enough to dodge this kind of financial hit. Now, just to be clear, Gabriella might not end up getting that full $50.2 million. Civil suits like this are tough to win, especially when things get murky between what was consensual and what wasn't. There's also a real chance Shannon won't be found legally responsible at all and could walk away clean from court. But here's the thing, even if he does win, the damage is already done. People have seen the leaked texts, heard the audio, and they can't unhear Shannon threatening to choke Gabriella. The court might clear him, but public opinion, that's a whole different story. At the end of the day, this isn't just about guilt or innocence, it's about image. And when it comes to brand protection, companies like Disney, the powerhouse behind ESPN, don't play around. They don't need a conviction to cut ties, and they just need bad optics. What companies really care about? It's not court verdicts, it's headlines. They care when your name starts trending for all the wrong reasons. Right now, Shannon Sharpe isn't just trending, he's a walking liability. Even if he walks free legally, brands are already backing away, afraid to get caught in the mess. Now sure, there's always a chance Shannon could stage a comeback, he's got fans, a platform, and let's be real, people love a comeback story. But if that redemption arc ever happens, it's gonna be a long road, and he made it harder for himself. This isn't just bad luck, it's the result of choices he made, warnings he ignored, and people he surrounded himself with. He had folks like Monique and Cat Williams trying to put him on game, but he didn't listen. Instead, he linked up with a young OnlyFans model and got wrapped up in drama that was never worth it. It's not just the age gap people are talking about, it's the power imbalance, the alleged racial fetish stuff, and the whole vibe that screams reckless. And let's not forget, when you're tied to brands like Disney and ESPN, anything that looks like scandal, they don't want it near them. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, just the idea of it is enough for companies to back away fast. So now the real question is, can Shannon really bounce back? Or is the damage already done? And as for Monique, does Shannon even have the right to be mad at her? She didn't just clown him, she warned him. Loud and clear, he chose to laugh. Now she's turning pain into punchlines, and folks are saying it's fair game. So what do you think? Is Shannon cooked, or is there still hope for a comeback? Sound off in the comments and stick around. This story's not over yet.